You don't learn who you are when you win. You learn who you are when you fall. Let me ask you something. Why do we fall? We fall because life doesn't test the weak, it tests the willing. We fall because the climb to greatness is steep. It's real, it's raw, and it will knock you to your knees. But hear me clearly, falling is not failing. You fall so you can find out what's inside of you when everything outside of you feels like it's falling apart. See, anybody can smile when it's easy. Anybody can feel strong when the sun is shining and the bills are paid. But life doesn't just want to know what you'll do in comfort. It wants to know what you'll do in the chaos. Asterisk, here are 6 important key points from the speech, Why Do We Fall? Each developed into approximately 300 words with the same motivational tone and Les Brown-inspired intensity without using subheadings. Falling does not mean you failed. It means you've stepped into the arena of life. People who never fall are the ones who never try, never reach, never chase anything bigger than their comfort zone. But when you fall, it's proof that you're daring to grow. You fall not because you're weak, but because you're climbing something steep, something worthwhile. Life doesn't hand out lessons in a classroom. It teaches you through pressure, loss, rejection, and pain. Falling is how you find out what you're really made of. It strips away the surface and introduces you to your real strength. That moment, when you hit the ground, when the noise stops and it's just you and your decision, that's where growth begins. Because when you choose to get back up, to keep moving, to refuse defeat, that's where your character is shaped. You don't build resilience through success. You build it through setbacks. Every stumble is a stepping stone. Every loss carries a lesson. And if you can stop viewing falling as something to fear and start seeing it as something to learn from, you'll start walking with confidence even when you're uncertain. Because the person who rises after falling becomes stronger than the one who never tried. When you fall, you're given a unique opportunity to meet the most honest version of yourself. The version that's been stripped of applause, recognition, and results. The version that has to decide, will I stay down or will I stand up again? That decision defines everything. Pain has a way of awakening potential. You find out how bad you want something when everything in you says quit. Falling pulls back the layers of ego and shows you where your foundation really is. And if your foundation is built on purpose, not pride, on conviction, not convenience, you will always rise again. We all have moments where life punches us in the gut. The difference isn't whether we fall. The difference is whether we get back up. Rising after the fall requires something deep. It requires faith, even when you don't feel it. It requires action, even when you're afraid. And it requires vision, even when your eyes are filled with tears. You grow in those moments. You become stronger not because you avoided the fall, but because you went through it and found a new level of strength on the other side. Every time you choose to rise, you send a message to yourself and the world. I am not done yet. Adversity will always ask one question. Who are you without the results? It's easy to be confident when things are going your way, but when everything crashes, that's when your true character is revealed. Falling challenges your identity. It forces you to confront who you are when no one's cheering, when nothing is working. When doubt creeps in, that's when your values get tested. Will you fold or will you fight? Will you shrink or will you stretch? Falling is not the moment to retreat. It's the moment to reach deeper into your soul and pull out a version of yourself that even you didn't know existed. That's what falling does. It exposes your fears and introduces you to your real strength. When you rise after falling, you're not the same. You've seen the bottom. You've battled through darkness. You've heard the voice that said, you can't, and you chose not to listen. And now you carry that power with you, that mental toughness, that emotional maturity. The depth that can only come from having been broken and choosing to rebuild. When you rise with scars, and those scars become your strength. So don't fear the fall, respect it. Welcome it. Let it teach you who you are, and then let it show you who you can become. Falling teaches us humility. When we win too much, we start to think we're invincible. But the fall reminds us that we're still human, that we still have work To do, it humbles the ego and sharpens the focus. When you fall, you get a front row seat to your flaws, your habits, your blind spots. And that's not a bad thing, that's a gift. Because with that awareness comes transformation. The fall gives you clarity. It shows you what you were depending on that wasn't stable. It shows you where you were cutting corners, where you were coasting, where you stopped growing. And once you see that, you have the power to rebuild better, wiser, stronger. The fall is not the failure. It's the feedback. It's the moment you stop pretending and start becoming. You begin to pursue growth, not perfection. You stop seeking comfort and start chasing conviction. You stop living to impress and start living to impact. Falling shifts your mindset from success-driven to growth-driven. You no longer ask, "Did I win?" You start asking, "Did I learn?" And when that shift happens, the fall becomes a foundation. Not something that holds you back, but something that holds you up. The moment you fall is the moment most people give up. But if you choose to get up, even when it hurts, you become unstoppable. Resilience isn't built when things go right, it's built in the silence after things go wrong. When there's no cheering crowd, no recognition, no reward, just the quiet decision to keep going. That's where greatness is born. Every setback you survive adds strength to your spirit. Every failure you fight through adds fuel to your fire. Falling doesn't weaken you, it refines you. It teaches you to endure, to adapt, to rise with grace and grind. When you develop that kind of bounce-back power, you walk differently. You stop fearing failure because you know it can't break you. You've already been broken and you're still standing. So now, every time you fall, you rise with more wisdom, more faith, more focus. Falling becomes your fuel. It reminds you that you're still in the game, that your dream is still alive, that your purpose still matters. You're not weak because you fell. You're strong because you chose not to stay down. There's someone out there who needs your story, not your perfection. Not your highlight reel, but your recovery, your courage, your comeback. When you fall and rise, you don't just grow yourself, you inspire others, you become proof that failure isn't final, that dreams can survive disaster, that a broken person can still live with boldness and purpose. Your fall gives you authenticity, and your rise gives others hope. People need to see that success is not about always winning, it's about refusing to quit your strength in. The struggle becomes someone else's survival guide. So don't hide your fall. Don't be ashamed of it. Own it. Speak it. Let it be the chapter that makes your story worth reading. The world doesn't need perfect. It needs real. It needs people who kept going after the breakdown. People who fought their way back. People who chose faith over fear and purpose over pain. And if you're one of those people, your rise is not just for you, it's for everyone who comes after you. Let them know, we fall, but we rise louder.